Split the vote.
It's your boy, the man, the myth, the legend, R-I-Z-G-O-D, Riz God, baby. And you're listening to Tim and Rob on Split the Vote.
All right, big shout out to Rizzo again for that amazing intro. It's again Tim and Rob. This is Split the Vote, the ultimate Survivor superfan podcast, where I am joined every week by the greatest co-host in the world. We might both be grad students, but this is not a heated rivalry. Rob, how you feeling?
You know, we got FTC around the corner. It's like I got my own final tribal tomorrow with my final exams for my grad classes. So I'm hanging in there, but I'm happy to be here. And what a hell of an intro for Rizzo. I mean, shout out Rizzo for real for making that video for us and everything. Like when Bryce sent us that video of Rizzo, like, my God, that made my night. That was incredible.
No, it definitely was. And like something else for me that was super incredible that I really loved was going to the BWP last Wednesday. It was up in Baltimore, not too far from where I am. So I hopped over, me and some other people, and I got to meet some like amazing listeners of the pod. I also got to meet folks who were on the season. Like Christina is like so incredibly sweet, like so genuine and kind, like both in person, and it really resonates with what we're seeing on screen. Saw the man himself, Alex, who I feel like in another life would be my homeboy. You know, he's just cool like that. And also Annie and Trashy Annie, they had a live performance, and you know I like rock music. It's in my Spotify rap, so I love to see it all. And of course, I can't forget the mayor of Baltimore, Gabe Ortiz from Survivor 47 was there as well. Of course, on top of like, you know, the baby boys, Bryce and Wynn, and all the other great people also. So yeah, great time, really great time.
Yeah, I mean, I heard incredible things about it. I know we had a lot of friends, my girlfriend Marissa, pull up too. So like, it was just everyone raving about the Bryce Wynn Presents just event this week, and Baltimore's a spot to be, I guess.
Yeah. Something else I feel like from this episode I'm raving about is Mr. Stephen Croft. I'm like, close enough. Welcome back, Laura Croft. You know, Stephen has this super amazing journey where he is pretty much like doing all this rock climbing and like running. And I felt like it was super cool. I really liked that moment. You know, I played a lot of video games as a kid growing up. Like some of my favorite games were like the Assassin's Creed games and stuff. So I'm like, it's given like Astronomers Creed. Like it's, you know, I just really loved it. It seems like it was really adventurous.
Dude, I ran a 5K, like a turkey trot. I guess I'm a turkey trot family for Thanksgiving and everything. But I want to know how far Steven had to run across the island, because the whole time I'm thinking, like, God, like I'm out of wrestling shape. I haven't really run like this in a minute, and I can only imagine how Steven feels when has no food in his like stomach at all, completely like tank is on empty, and he's got to run around the island like slipping and falling. Like that did look tough and excruciating, especially when you just have to give every single ounce of energy you have left just to this game. And this isn't even for immunity. I mean, it's for an advantage, which is a huge piece of the game, but it can't come at a better time for Steven. The fact that he's the only one interested in going on this journey, I thought that was an astonishing decision, where you have a lot of people who are like feeling very good and close on this beach, but no one wants to take a shot at an advantage. Like, why do you think that is?
I feel like that's a good question. I feel like for me, when it comes to the advantage and I'm some of the other players, we see this journey, right? I'm thinking it's final 7 at this point. A journey could be something that would change the game, but also could be something that could screw me over. Would I want to be screwed over at final 7 because I went on a journey and I failed to complete whatever task it was, especially because they gave us a hint that is strenuous? Like, I don't look at any of the players left in the game and think, oh yeah, I have like a whole lot of energy, like I'm so hyped, I'm excited. And then I also think about the fact that for almost half of the players left in the game, they already have some kind of advantage. You know, Savannah just played her extra vote, so she might be cool on having an advantage. Sophie still has hers. Knowledge is power. We see Rizzo still has his idol, so that's even more of an incentive for them not to go on that journey to potentially have it impact their game. But for Steven and Christina just played an idol also. So for Steven, it's like, okay, I guess it's my turn. Like let me step up to the plate. Let me give it a shot. And it worked out for him. And he got a block vote, which is I think gonna be great for his game.
Yeah, I mean, the further into the game that you can use a block vote, the better, just because when numbers get smaller, votes get that much more powerful, just because you control that much higher of a percentage of the vote and who's going to go home. Like this whole tribal council, it's like we only need 4. That's what Rizzo kept saying, like at tribal, where that's just the part of the game where we're at right now. It's not so much about like who do you vibe with, like who do you really trust. It's really about like whose game aligns with whose, and who can you scrape together and get through this vote with. And a block vote can really do a huge amount of damage. I think. What do you think about the twist with this block vote though, where it's like they find out at the voting booth that they can't vote, rather than like standing up there and declaring like, Savannah, you can't vote this week or something like that, like to Jeff in front of like a public execution, if you will.
I think it's cool because it really messes with people's plans in a way that they can't bounce back from. There is no live tribal council after the fact that you find out that your vote is being blocked. There's no wink, wink, nudge, nudge. There's like no possibility that if used correctly, the people it's used against can shift or come up with something different on the spot. It's kind of like, oh yeah, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to vote out Rob. And then I pull up and I'm like, oh snap, like, oh shit, like I don't have a vote. Like, what am I gonna do now? And so I think them finding out when they go up to vote would be something that is more of a surprise, and I think we'll get more of a reaction too. So I think it works on both ends, like both on the TV side of things, but also on the messing up people's plans side of things.
Definitely. I mean, it's like you're gonna pull the rug from underneath them, like just so quick, and they don't even know. Like when you're on the beach scheming, like when you're Steven telling the couple of people, like, "Hey, like this is the plan. We got the block vote. They're not gonna know," and then we punch them and get them with the kill and everything. Like I could see the hype for Steven or a player like aligned with him when that comes into use, where it's like, okay, it's game time, and they're not gonna go. They're not gonna know what hit them. They're not gonna know.
No, they aren't. They aren't. So I think they're gonna definitely be surprised. Somebody else who I think did not know what was gonna hit them was, of course, the person who got voted out this episode, that being Sophie. Like, I'm wondering why no shot in the dark? Like, was this a complete blindside too? I'm sure she, of course, heard her name out there. Of course, like the votes are slim in this moment. 4-3, 1 vote is the deciding factor for majority, at least. But for everybody to vote out Sophie, for it to be a unanimous vote at Final 7, I'm like, wow, like Sophie was that big of a threat to them sitting at a Final Tribal Council, or that, they didn't want her to have a chance in the game to win another immunity challenge. It also could be a social factor of, is Sophie in this moment the least socially connected player amongst the people we have left? So for whatever reason, it was unanimous, and that surprised me. I would have definitely imagined it would have been split in some way, and Savannah would have at least caught some kind of vote, especially with how the other players feel about Savannah and how Savannah feels about the other players, specifically the Christina Savannah beef.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk. I'm so happy to get into the unanimous vote, but like, okay, first at tribal council, I think it's crazy to say that you have a strong dislike for somebody in this day and age in Survivor and be so open about it. Though it seems that's just who Christina is as a person, where she is a little bit more just like wears her heart on her sleeves, or will tell you how she's feeling when she's feeling. But it's does it really come as a shock to anybody? Clearly, no. Everyone knows that Christina and Savannah are never going to work with each other. I guess they did this vote and everything like that, but I don't know. It's just like it's odd. I don't know. Just like fake it till you make it.
Yeah, I kind of disagree though, because it's like, all right, we're not gonna pretend, right? Like, I don't like you, you don't like me, we're not gonna work together, like, and let's just leave it there. I think with that comes some kind of respect that could be gained if you get to a final tribal council versus oh my God, like, yeah, let's work together. Like, oh my God, like, I really wanted to work with you. I think that would be to everybody's detriment. It's like you're being fake up to my face, and then also you don't want to work with me. So that's just gonna add insult to injury if I were to be voted out. Like if it was the other way around and I'm voted out, I'm like, okay, cool. Like we don't like each other. We've been new, we didn't like each other. So like it just makes sense to not work together. So for me to see them tell each other that they just aren't cool, don't vibe with each other, I'm like, that's valid. That's real. Like I can respect that as a viewer. Like I can see that happening.
I
That's how
feel
I
like,
would be in that situation too.
yeah, I guess like the feelings are fair, but in a game for $1 million, I think it's poor gameplay, poor strategy, poor jury management. You don't have to like somebody to work on the same side. This is the perfect time to mend a bridge if you're Savannah and Christina, where it's like, look, like, well, yeah, we haven't gone off on the wrong foot. We have not worked with each other. We are two personalities that clash, but that can't mean we can't work together and sit down and work through these issues and vote with each other. And they were able to vote with, they obviously voted with each other. It was unanimous, this vote, but like, you're telling me that like, you can't just have like okay, let's just air out this conversation if it is like, our feelings about each other, if it is so open, to see if like, if we can put it aside and just try to work with each other. You know, I don't know if that, if you're getting like what I'm saying, or if I'm,
no, that makes sense. Yeah, like bury the hatchet. But I think at this point, the hatchet is a yacht. I think that's gonna take a lot to bury to get, somebody who you just are fundamentally so different from to work together with. That's like trying to put, me and Ethan on a team together. It's like, okay, Rob, like sure, we'll try. We'll make an effort, I guess, but if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And speaking of emotions, I feel like Sage is a player I was surprised by voting for Sophie, because of course she's hurt from the blind side of Juwan. Her and Juwan were really cool, really close, and it seemed like her and Sophie had a bond. We hear from like some game talk, and also outside the game, that they both were alternates for different seasons, and they really bonded over the fact that they're finally having a chance to play together. And I guess it just seemed like Sage and Sophie S were somewhat of a pair that was going to be unbreakable, but I guess I was wrong because of the fact that Juwan was blindsided. So I guess those emotions, really are always central in a game of Survivor, seems like.
yeah. I mean, the Bulls saw red during this episode. Like, Sage was way too focused on getting out Yellow Sophie and just completely blinded by those raw emotions that she had, seeing Juwan get his torch. Actually, not even his torch snuff. Was it Rizzo's torch snuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so going back to the unanimous vote, right? I think when you have a unanimous vote at 7, that means half the players in the game are asleep. There's 6 people coming back from tribal council. Only 3 of them are going to make it to FTC. That means half of these players, they have a poor perception of how this end game is going to go down. And you have this key figure in Sophie S who, hasn't been a person that many people have really wanted to work with for the majority of this merge, because she was on the old team and then she's flipping back to the other side and everything like that. But I think you have to kind of wake up and see the bigger picture, where it's like, well, if everyone wants this to happen, why should it happen for me now when it still can be a vote made in the future? It's like Rizzo's logic with like this whole fiasco of getting out Sophie back at final 10. And it's like, why are we getting her out now when I can try and get her out later? Let's get someone else like an MC out. It's like and he was in a spot at that time where he was below the numbers, outside of the majority, had power, but had no people really working with him. So I feel like you have to take that same approach and figure out, okay, like, where am I in the game right now? And someone like a Rizzo, Savannah, they're at the top tier part of this game right now. So when you're Steven and you're Christina, you kind of got to wake up and be like, if they want Sophie now, we can get her out next vote or something like that. That perception of we need to take them out isn't going to go away. So I thought this was the perfect opportunity for them to finally take a shot at Savannah, for Savannah to go home. I mean, she's could have, I don't want to say she's could have gone like home every single vote, but I think this was the first real vote that they could have taken a real solid shot at her. And they didn't even bite. I mean, they didn't even cast out a reel and try to like hook the fish at all. Sophie was the only person playing, but like what happened? Were Steven, Christina just too afraid or like in like self-preservation mode because they were on the wrong side of the votes? Like that's how I see it for them too. You have Sage who's just completely blinded by revenge, and then you have Soph, Rizzo, and Savannah who are just like they're just gonna keep going with each other, work with each other. I mean, Soph is a different story maybe, but I don't know. That like just grind my gears, bro. Like I just don't get it because you're asleep at the wheel. You sleep at the wheel and the exit's coming up and you're not going to take it. You're literally going to miss it. You're going to fly by, hit a wall. My God.
I can see that too, where it's like if this is the final 7 and it's a unanimous vote and both sides or one side really wants this person to go home, and I've been on the opposite side of that, I'm like, okay, why do y'all want her to go home? But again, it makes sense for them to get out Sophie in some ways too. This is somebody who's a challenge beast. This is somebody who just flipped on us last time around. If we were to get out Savannah, I do think actually getting out Savannah at that point would have been the better move. But would they have had the numbers to really do that? You know, I think that would have resulted in the blocker vote having to be needed to be used at this moment to pull that off. I think that requires a Sage. Is Sage really at this very moment gonna want to vote out a Savannah instead of a Sophie? Like, is it actually practically possible? Versus, okay, it's not Christina. I'm safe as Steven, so it's not me. Sure, I guess Sophie is expendable at this moment. This is somebody that just works for this tribal council versus, you know, somebody who I want to keep in the game, such as a Christina. So to me, it just seems like it just made the most sense for everybody in this moment. And to try to like go uphill and fight that seemed maybe impossible from their eyes, from what we're seeing.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
but that impossible, like, but like that's why you gotta take the shot, because there's a reason why people are cool and comfortable with it, because they have a plan and it's easy. So unless the like Christinas and Stevens of the world were like we're actually just screwed no matter what going after this vote, like with Sophie's here or Savannah's here, they're just two people not on our side. So regardless, we're just getting out someone that's not going to work with me. Like that is probably the perception of what they're working under. Right. So I get it. I guess I get it. But bro, so you got to break up a duo in Savannah and Rizzo like that. I think that's the big piece where it's like, yeah, like sure, Sophie's a challenge that, but so is Steven and so is Savannah. There's multiple of them in this game. So break up relationships while you can, especially really tight fucking relationships where people are not going to turn on each other because they've been working with each other the whole freaking game. Timothy, what are they doing?
Timothy is crazy, Bob. But I think that's a good question, actually. Like, I don't really know. I feel like I'm shocked that nobody took an attempt to get Rizzo to play his idol again, because the numbers are getting lower and lower. This person has an idol. This could literally cancel out all the votes that I have in this moment, all the votes that could be the votes to save me. You know, nobody else knows that Sophie has a knowledge is power. So to everybody else, Rizzo just is in the game. He has an idol. It seems like in this moment, we've kind of given up on that plan to flesh Rizzo's idol. I don't know if it's because it seems like he just is gonna never play it and we're just gonna have to blindside him and get him out. Or do we just not think Rizzo is a threat at Final Tribal Council at this point? Because I do think everybody's eyes are toward a Final Tribal Council, but I think that Rizzo's idol is an obstacle that a lot of people aren't really remembering, at least in this round. It seems like, it seems like the most immediate threat is a Sophie who just flipped, who just gained all this power, who already was good at challenges, it seems like. But yeah, I don't know. But speaking of challenges, this was actually one of my favorite challenges that I saw. Like I always love this challenge, and to see a new twist on it, I thought was really cool. And as I'm looking at it, Rob, in the episode we saw Steven try to impersonate Jeff. I'm gonna impersonate Steven, right? Because I actually went to science camp during like some of my teenage high school years. Like I was in the science, language, arts, and math program from like ninth grade summer, 10th grade summer, 11th grade summer. Like I was locked in. So I know a little bit about math, even though I chose English, right? So I'm looking at the changes in the challenge, right? I'm like, it's going from this, up and down tilting thing where a lot of players will have to reset to this wheel, right? I'm thinking, okay, we got the centrifugal force of the blocks where as it spins, all the force because of the law of inertia is going to want to keep going forward, and keeping going forward is like off of the pedestal of the blocks, and math and numbers and space, like all of those things. But no, seriously, I do think seeing that twist in the challenge, to me, it seemed a little bit easier, but also I can see how it could be a little bit more difficult or a little harder, just because of the fact that, this is spinning. There's centrifugal force. Centrifugal?
Sounds right.
Centrifugal.
I don't know.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but centrifugal force, right, is at play. So yeah,
At the
that
same
was a little bit
time,
of the Steven knowledge coming forward.
and you have the leaning tower of Pisa or whatever, like
Yeah.
on that platform too. Like, how are you supposed to maneuver around this whole block tower that's spinning and like literally about to give at any single moment? I mean, like, I've tried this, the old variation of this challenge at a Bryson One Presents event, right? Where you have the little rope and there is no give. Like any little bit of like awkward movement literally makes that fall. So the fact that they're able to like step up and go onto the platform, maneuver around those obstacles with it tied around their waist, like this is kind of awkward. So I don't know. I don't know. Bryson Wen got to now bring that version of the challenge to one of their events, but so then I can try it out and really be like, nah, this one's easier than the other,
Yeah, no, definitely that. I don't know, it's pretty cool to see something like similar to what we've seen before, but with a little bit of oomph added to it. You said it was a Leaning Tower of Pisa. It might be the Leaning Tower of Spaghetti, because that's what they got as a reward when Steven won immunity. And of course, he picks Christina, and he also picks Rizzo. When he picks Christina, I'm like, okay, like that makes sense. Like if you weren't gonna pick Christina, I would be shocked. And if I'm Christina and you didn't pick me, I'm like, I'm leaving some tree mail at camp for you. It's gonna read, "Dear Steven, I hate everything about you. Why didn't you pick me for this, this reward?" But of course, it makes sense he picks Christina. And I'm like, yes, because she deserves to eat, especially after playing an idol on you. He also picks Rizzo. When I see him pick Rizzo, at first I'm like, huh? He picks Rizzo. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, it makes sense. He's pulling somebody away from camp to, prevent them from scheming behind his back. He's bringing somebody with him who has an idol to perhaps kill the time where they can think of ways to use different advantages strategically, right? This is already somebody who's come up to me and said, "Oh, I think you have a still a vote. I just have a block of vote, but if you want to think I have a still a vote, sure." But it just makes sense on a strategic level that this pick was made as I thought about it more and more.
Yeah, I thought the Rizzo pick was very interesting in the beginning. I thought he would maybe go in the direction of like, let's bring Sage or someone like that who is a little fiery and was also left on the wrong side of the votes from tribal council. It's like, but like you said, it's kind of too obvious where you get like a pairing of three, leaving like the potential other four people that just worked with each other still in the game on the beach together. And then it just becomes like well, it's one of us and I got the immunity necklace and Steven. So it's like, good luck, guys. So like, but like at the same time, like if their direction was to target someone like Sophie and get the heat off their back and like Steven, Christine, everything like that, yeah, pull aside Rizzo and see what he's maybe thinking. And the fact that Rizzo was also the first one to throw out Sophie's name in that conversation, I thought was really interesting too. But Rizzo's a gamer. And like, that's just what he is, bottom line.
Yeah, I found myself surprised too. I'm like, oh, so we're throwing Sophie under the bus in this moment. I mean, what other options does Rizzo really have? Christina's right here, Steven's right here too, and Steven is safe. And these are two of the people who we were targeting, really more so Steven at this moment. And so my options left are Sage, who she just lost Jawan. Is she really a threat to me as Rizzo in this moment? Savannah, that's my ally. Like, I'm not voting out Savannah right now. Sophie B, that's also my ally right now at this moment. That just leaves Sophie S, who is good at challenges again, and is somebody that could be a threat to my game. So it makes sense with the people that are there on the beach for her to be the person. But I also was shocked that he was the one to really push her because again, she just voted with y'all. Y'all just pulled off that move in part because of her. So I'm shocked too.
I've been trying to think of like who are some players and like their like survivor comparisons and like how they've really like played the game or like who they have personality wise, like kind of like a similar like aura to and everything. And I think Sage and Carolyn from season 44 are two very similar players where they live in their kind of like revenge space and they're a little wacky, but they're true to themselves and what they want done, it happens, whether it's their doing or not. But I don't know. I every time we bring up like Sage right now, it's just like yeah, she had a lot of power. I don't know. Like, what do you think about that comparison? Do you think that's like legit or like not really?
I think that's a legit comparison. I thought about that comparison earlier in the season too, because I'm like, these are two players who are definitely showing their emotions on their face. They're not going to hide their emotions. They're a little bit wackier on the spectrum of wacky and super serious. And I think on a game level in this moment, if we're talking about that Sage again just lost somebody that was super close to her, just lost Jawan. So if she's somebody that is gonna play a little bit more emotional, she's gonna like feel that need for revenge. Like, what's that one Taylor Swift song about revenge? There's like a couple, right?
Better Than
You
Revenge.
got like, what's the one that's like, oh, Bad Blood, the Bad
Okay.
Blood, right? This is your area of expertise here. Last time you dived into the Pokemon knowledge. Let me tap a little bit into my Taylor Swift knowledge, right? It's like, I got bad blood with you, Sophie. Like, I forgot the rest of the lyrics, but like you just blindsided me. You just got out my homeboy. Like, you just stopped my speech in the middle of this award ceremony. So like now I'm out to get you. Like, the old Sage can't come to the phone right now because you blindsided me, killed her. So now the new Sage is out to get you. And the new Sage got her. She got her lick back.
Yeah, but you know what's better than revenge? $1 million. I think you gotta put those revenge feelings aside to really set up the game. And I know I went into the whole spiel about that before, but I had to throw in another Taylor Swift song. I don't know if you caught that. Better than Revenge, Speak Now album. Like, I think song number 9 maybe. But you could check that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like, come on, Sage.
Yeah. Well, all in all, it feels like if I'm Sage in this moment, and I just feel like she literally told her verbatim, you just handed Savannah $1 million. Like, if I feel defeated, if I feel like my game is over and I'm upset because I feel like you're the reason why my game is seemingly over, I'm going to bring the ship down with me. Like, if I feel like I'm sinking and you're the one who put a hole in the ship, I'm going to make sure you go down with the ship. I'm like, okay, I can be a vengeful person, Rob. Like, I don't know if we know this, but I always say I don't have a short fuse. I have a really long fuse, but that really long fuse leads to C fucking 4. Like, it's gonna explode when it explodes, right? And it feels like Sage is at that point where she's ready to maybe not explode in an outburst, which I feel like I wouldn't do either, but she is ready to like just get some sense of justice for herself. Like she's gonna like make the wrong right by her own means, you know, like she is gonna remember stuff. Like I'm not Omar, but you know how crows can remember faces of people who were assholes to them. I feel like Sage is a crow at this moment because she is remembering and she is not letting go. She's not forgetting what Sophie just did to her eyes. So it just makes sense when I think about it from that perspective.
But at the same time, you still have like blue Sophie Soap, right? Come to her after the vote being like, dude, like we can work with each other still. So it's not that, like, I think Sage still has agency in this game and the ability to maneuver and make moves, but I think she just became short-sighted. Yes, she's gonna explode. You know that. Yeah, it's just yeah.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. Um, I feel like it's time to get to the Torchy Awards. What do you think, Rob?
That sounds like a great idea.
Cool. Well, what are the Torchy Awards? You might be asking. Well, the Torchy Awards are an award ceremony that Rob and I put on every episode where we give a player or players our respective Torchy Award. That could be because we just really like them. That could be because they did something super strategic. It could be for whatever reason. But 2 Torchy Awards or one singular Torchy Award will be given out each episode. Rob, I want to start off with your nominees for your Torchy Award this episode.
All right, my nominees for this Torchy Award are going to be Steven, because I think he had a hell of an episode, winning immunity, getting an advantage, and still finding his way into the majority vote, working alongside Rizzo and everybody else. So on that note, I also think Rizzo is my other nominee for this episode as well for the Torchy Award, just because of his ability to facilitate that Sophie vote on his side of the beach and then come back and be like, wow, everyone's on the same side. And then the plan stays the same and he's able to pull off another blind side.
Yeah. I think for me, my nominees, one is Steven. Of course, I think it was a really great episode for Steven. Immunity, advantage, reward. He just had a lot going for himself this episode. And on the other hand, I feel like Rizzo is also my other nominee. It seems like he was a player who, at least we saw on the surface, really push the name Sophie. And we see people go along with that, both his allies and, of course, the people on the other side of his alliance, even though they might also have already thought about getting Sophie S out. But for me, Rob, my award goes to Steven this episode.
Yeah, my Torchy Award's also going to Steven this episode.
Let's
too.
go.
Dude, okay, I did love on the beach, like after he was able to get the advantage and everything, and he's just in his confessional being like, I can leave this game happy. And that he really reached a point of euphoria, which not a lot of players really get to, especially when you're so down and out of this game. Or did he have that after he won immunity? I don't even know. Day just got better and better for him, to be honest. But to see him just like so happy and be living in the moment, like you want to reach that point in Survivor when you're still in the game, because I think it uplifts you and you can take another step and you're okay just like trucking on through like the next adversity and the challenge. I mean, he goes through that big, hard, difficult moment on the journey and still has all that energy left to concentrate and focus in the immunity challenge. Like, I think you can truly see a difference in demeanor and glimmer in someone's eyes when they reach that point of like euphoric, like happiness in the game. And the fact that he's able to reach that when he's on the bottom, like it was great to see that in Steven.
Same. Like that excitement, the advantage that's going to be helpful for him in future rounds, the immunity win when he really needed it in this moment. It just seemed like he had a win after a win after a win. So the Steven stocks just went up. So you might want to get ready to invest in it if you aren't already. Well, Rob, anything else from this episode we might have missed to touch on?
I want to touch one, like lastly, just on Sophie. Blue Sophie. I think we're coming into final 6. This is the perfect time this upcoming episode to use the knowledge as power advantage. I don't care if you're still planning on working with Rizzo or Steven after this vote, but now is the time to take Rizzo's idol at 6, keep it for yourself, use it on yourself at 5, or control the vote at 5. This is what you've been biding your time for. It's to make a move now. You're 6 left in the game. There's just 3 other people that got to go home. You take that sense of security for yourself and you pocket it, and now you start to take control of this game. I think this is the turning point for Sophie, and she has to jump on this moment right now. And she knows it. I know she knows it. I see the gears turning and the wheels just going in her mind. This is the time. That's my prediction. She's got to do something about it.
Hey, listen, you know, I'm a Hamilton fan, right? I like musicals. For folks who are listening, I just hesitated because Rob just pulls from his side a Brita filter, like the gallon size Brita filter water containers, and drinks straight from it. Was not expecting that, but cool.
What is the first time you've ever done that? You don't get like bored and like, oh, I don't feel like pouring a glass of water. I'm just gonna
you know, I drink sink water.
do that all the time.
I just like,
Okay.
you know, turn on the faucet, get it from the water. I'm from the country. I'm from Mississippi. Like, people are scared of sink water for some reason. I'm like, why are y'all scared of tap water? It literally won't kill you unless there's like something happening with the pipes. But like, tap water isn't the devil. You know, you're gonna live. I promise, you're gonna be fine. But I've never just taken the whole thing and just like drinking straight from it. But
I'm the only one that drinks from it, so maybe that's why. It's like the first time I've really ever been able to do that. So I don't know what spurred me to do it right now, just to interrupt you. I don't know where our thoughts are going, but I'm like, you know what? Screw Tim. I'm taking a sip of water right now.
yeah, I mean, get your water intake while you can. I think that Sophie B definitely, because I'm a musical fan, right? It feels like Hamilton. She feels like Aaron Burr in Hamilton. For folks who don't know, like, she's waiting for it. Like, she's waiting for her time. She's gonna make sure she's in the room where the knowledge is power happens. She's the first person to enter that room. She will be, I'm pretty sure. So she's just waiting for the right time. She's like willing to wait for it. And I think, unlike Aaron Burr and Hamilton, I think it's gonna work out for Sophie in that moment where she's gonna be the first person to successfully play the knowledge is power. She's just waiting for the time to be right. And I think that she will play it when it's necessary for her game.
The
I'm excited
Pokemon,
for her, though. It's going to happen.
yeah, 100%. It's got to happen, right? And the Pokemon move bide is most effective the more rounds it takes before they hit. And she's been cooking, she's been steaming, she's been biding her time for so long. Like, I'm ready for that juicy hit. It's got to come.
It's on the horizon, so I'm ready for it. You know what else I'm ready for, Rob? Our recap of the next episode. So I guess the fans, the posse, the listeners will also have to wait for it as well. Because for the time being, it has been yet another Purple Pants Podcast powered production. If you like this one, you can always check out all the other Purple Pants podcasts over on the Bright Isaiah YouTube channel. You can see my beautiful mug, Rob's beautiful mug, and also check out some of the other recaps for the other shows as well over on the channel. But it's been Tim from Split the Vote.
It's been Rob.
It's been Split the Vote. Peace.